Good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, one of my favorite days. We are getting ready for Friday. Gonna do some traveling this week. We got a big wedding for my boy Dave Moreno. I'm officiating his wedding. Can't wait to do that. Gonna see Andy Furcello, the unbelievable Andy Furcella, tomorrow in St. Louis, and then stop by New Orleans as well. Keeping my mask on and socially distanced. Safe but mobile. Let's see how it goes. We will be live still this Friday, 6 a.m. special time, public coaching session, byoq. You bring the questions, I'll bring the answers. Go ahead, email me, david@dmeltzer.com with your questions, or come live with me on Friday, david@dmeltzer.com if you haven't joined. If you want to join my text community, it's 949-298-2905. I see you there, Samir. I will meet you in New Orleans as well. I'll have a drive-in from Houston. Shakedown 814. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to go at it. Let's get these questions rolling from India. I have an Indian wedding. That's what it is. So that should be fun. Welcome all my friends here to the live. Let's get some questions going. I don't see Team David Meltzer on here, but if they were, we should post up there, david@dmeltzer.com or 949-298-2905. What's the best lesson you've learned from watching your mom? Gratitude, without a doubt. My mom wouldn't even let me come downstairs if I didn't have an attitude of gratitude. My mom would ask me to go back up. She forced us to say thank you when we went to sleep and list out all the things we were thankful for. All the things in the morning we were thankful for. If ever we had the why me attitude, she turned it upside down into a try me attitude immediately. I learned so many great lessons. Didn't listen to my mom, but I watched her. And that's where I learned to be a parent as well. They're not going to listen to you, but they will watch you. What are you most excited for about finally traveling? Seeing people in person that I haven't seen. I mean, I get to see so many different people. I'm really excited about it. So I've been in this closet long enough, and I'm really getting excited about seeing my friends, Mike and David, and all the great people in St. Louis, Stacy and Carlos Reyes, who we'll see today, but he's probably already in St. Louis. But yeah, I think the people and the food probably. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to try to get that food going. If you could have one superpower, what would it be? Kindness. I would have eternal kindness. If I could have one superpower, I would look on every single situation with kindness in my heart and in my soul, in my mind. If I truly could have a superpower, that would absolutely be it. All right. Speak of the devil. That's my man. Team David Meltzer is not here, but we will... How come it won't let me go live with you? Carlos, request to go live with me. I see Carlos Reyes in here. He is the CEO of National Cash Offer. He is a superpreneur, owner of 25 businesses, a lot of them within the context of course, real estate. But anyway, Carlos is an extraordinary entrepreneur I wanted to have on here, given his perspective on what can we do to make money today. Nick, welcome. If anybody can find Team David Meltzer, please let me know where they are. We need to post up there, my david@dmeltzer.com and 949-298-2905. Carlos, go ahead. Let's see here. Give me a reach if you can. I'll send an invite to you. There you go. Hopefully you can nail that. There we go. Ha ha!
Hey,
The devil's in the details. What's going on?
what's up, brother? I'm still here in the airport. See?
Oh no.
Oh no, yeah, I'm here. I'm in St. Louis.
You waited for me. Cool.
Yeah, I'm in St. Louis. We just got here, and it's bring a jacket.
Is
Bring a
it?
jacket. Oh yeah, yeah. It's cloudy. It's cloudy. Well, actually, no, it's raining and it's pretty cold. So nothing
Wow.
like Arizona. Nothing like California. So make sure
Well,
you
good.
bring a jacket, brother.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I'm so proud of you. I've known you now for a few years. I've watched you grow, not just as an entrepreneur, but as someone who's building a community and empowering a community around you through the lessons that you've learned with humility in mind. Through this period, the 6 months, you've done extremely well, as have I, and I'm not ashamed to say so because I'm allowing it to come through me to help others. What have been some of the key perspective or mindset tools that you've utilized to do well during this time of change? I don't call it uncertainty, as you know. I call it change. What have you done to be so successful during this time?
Yesterday I was getting my weekly massage. I get a weekly massage. It's kind of a stress management tool for me. I get a weekly massage, and I was talking to my massage therapist, and he says, "Hey, man," he's like, I've seen you explode since March." And he says, and I think I know why I think I know how you're doing it. It's something he remembered, right? And I said, well, his name is Abel. I said, well, what do you mean, Abel? He's a guy. By the way, I know, kind of weird, right? A guy massage therapist, but this guy gives deep tissue, sports, stretching, all kinds of different stuff. Not that I have to explain myself, but uh,
I like
well,
it.
just for I'm married. I have a wife. Everything, nothing's fine. Everything's good. So, anyway, he says, well, I remember I was giving you a massage in March, and he says, and you were so hyped about the fact that you were just going to keep your foot on the gas. You were just going to keep your foot on the gas, right? That, oh, while everybody else is going to take a breather, take some time off, you're going to keep pressing. You said, I'm going to take advantage of this time. I'm gonna 10x my effort, and that's kind of one thing that has really really worked out for me. Now 7 months later, the pandemic kind of hit back in the 16th of March is when President Trump made that announcement, and here we are 7 months later, and I've been pushing extremely hard. I haven't took my foot off the gas pedal. But one thing that's really really helped me as far as my state of mind is discipline, self-discipline. Self-discipline has really helped me. My discipline has allowed me to create life transformational habits. My discipline, because everybody thinks like, okay, if you're disciplined, if you're disciplined enough, your life will change. Yes, it will change, but what they don't understand is it all connects, right? Your discipline then allows you to create better habits, and then your habits are who you are, who you become. So that's what's really helped me out this year, Dave, is my discipline, focusing on my discipline because I lacked a lot of discipline, focusing on my discipline, and that helped me create these amazing, consistent habits, and then my habits have really helped me thrive during these last 7 months.
Yeah, one of the habits that I see that you continue to grow with is you have a habit of asking for help. You came when we became friends. You were already extremely successful. You had built yourself a great business and a great life. But I was really respecting the fact that not only were you asking me for, how did I get to where I was or what I was doing, but you were telling me about all these other people. And even when I walked off stage as Thrive, I told my wife this. I said, I really, really like Carlos. I said, because he recognizes the work that I've done with my mentors, right? Everyone else they're taking the knowledge that I'm giving, but you are one step beyond the advice. I mean, you took tons of notes. I watched you there in the crowd. I would keep my eye on you. You're really writing it down. You're trying to learn, but you acknowledge the fact that, wow, there's a lot of deep work that Dave's done. That he's still doing it. But the first comment they said to me coming off of there, was not like everyone else. Oh, that was great. It was like, wow, man, I can really see how much work you've
You've
done.
done the work.
You've done the
Yeah,
work, right? And I'm still doing
yeah,
the work. And I love that because when someone says that to me, like a Jeff Fenster, Dan Fleischman, or Aaron Wags, or you, there's this group of people that saw things differently. It wasn't just, hey, that's an inspirational speech. Look, you
no,
wanted an inspirational speech, you can go watch the video. It was that you're acknowledging, okay, what work do I need to do to get to that next level? There's some layers here of understanding, of enlightenment. What is some of that work that you are doing? Some of the things you're reading, podcasts you're watching, or mentorship that you have. You have great real estate mentorship programs. You help thousands, if not now millions of people. You got 1 million followers, for God's sake. You're killing it. But moreover, I'm more interested in, who are you learning from?
I've actually had I have I call it the my board of counsel, right? My the wise men, right? So I definitely have certain individuals who have really really helped me. I have, I recently just hired. I had another coach. I had a coach. It's a personal development coach that I had, and then I recently just hired another personal development coach, and then I have a spiritual mentor, right? I have a spiritual mentor. So I do have a board of counsel, a council, right? That whenever something is going on that I may not have full grasp on, I don't hesitate. I reach out. I reach out, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. That they feel like they have to resolve everything on their own, right, by themselves, and that's not the case. There's a lot of people out there that are willing to lend a hand, that are willing to lend a shoulder, that are willing to lend an ear, that are willing to give you some solid, advice, and they come from a place of neutrality, where it's, the advice that they're giving you isn't for their own self, interest or to advance their own agendas. It's actually because they love you and they care about you, and that's the kind of advice that people need to surround themselves by. So, one thing that has really changed my life for sure in the past 12 months is I have been dumping a lot of money into myself. I've been investing a lot of money into myself and personal development, self care, everything you can think of. That's really been helping me just skyrocket. So thank God it's, I mean, my culture doesn't believe in personal development. My culture doesn't believe in dumping, tons of money, six figures into us, right? We believe in maybe dumping money into other things, whether it's, consuming other things or buying, a business or whatever, but none of them. My culture doesn't believe in investing into ourselves, and that's something that's been a game changer, man. It's been a game changer. So that's what's really done it this year.
Yeah, it's one of the best pieces of advice I ever got from my mom. I even mentioned it today earlier. If you're not going to invest in yourself, what are you ever going to invest in?
Mm.
Last thing about you that I love too is that the blend, I call it. There's some guys that can grind, right? You climb through a hole in a fence to get to this country. You
Yes.
you, you know what grinding's about. There's no one's going to outwork Carlos Reyes or David Meltzer. We're going to put the hours in that are necessary, and we're not going to quit. I get all of that, but there's a blend from that pragmatic world that I can outwork you, I can make it happen, into this new world that I see you maturing and transforming into, of what I call allowance. And in order to enter the universe of allowance, you have to
Mm.
have one thing over the currency of money, the object of energy that we get things with. It's called faith. And men and women of faith have a huge advantage over anyone else, because we don't see the mountain in front of us, right? We see what's above the mountain that created the mountain in front of us.
We know
And
who created the mountain. Absolutely, absolutely, and we
exactly.
and we know what moves mountains, and faith moves mountains
It does.
for
It does.
sure.
I love this story, and I'm gonna let you touch on this. I love this story about that the God comes down, and the scientists have created a way to create human beings, and they said, God, we don't need you anymore because we can create our own human beings. And he said, okay, well, let's have a contest. Let's see if, we'll each create a human being. Whoever creates, the better human beings will start there. And he said, okay, and said, all right, what are you going to create? We'll create a human being out of a handful of dirt. So the scientist reached down. He said, okay, we'll make our human out of dirt. You make your human out of dirt. The scientist reaches down. He grabs the dirt. And God says, you got to use your own dirt.
Oh,
Right? People don't think that way. They don't
which
think
yeah,
past. They think they got we can get over the mountain. I got all the answers, right? No, no, wait, hold on a
yeah,
second. Who created the mountain? Right? What created the
absolutely.
mountain? I don't care what God you believe in. I don't care what you believe in, but I believe you have to believe in a higher source of light, love. And where does that faith blend for you with that You're a multimillionaire. You got huge successes. You're helping other people be multimillionaires. But how does faith blend its way into that pragmatic world that you and I live in?
It's it's all I've ever had. I didn't have my earthly father around, but I had my heavenly father around. And I remember having conversations with my heavenly father since the age of 4. The age of 4 and 5 for sure. I was just having a conversation with my mother yesterday. She came over to the house. She brought over some spaghetti, and we were talking about the good old times. Well, wasn't so good, but the times where we were definitely struggling, suffering, everything you can think of. And I can tell you this from our talks, because she reminds me a lot of our talks of like when I was 4, when I was 5, when I was 6, when I was 7, because, we don't remember a lot of that stuff, but, parents remember, right? Parents remember. And she said that I always used to have a relationship with God and I always believed in myself. She said one day when we were walking to my grandma's house in Mexico. I looked up at her as a 5-year-old and I said, "Mom, one day I'm going to have a huge house and you're going to live in it, you know?" And I've always just had faith. I've always had faith in my creator, and I've always had faith in myself. And I feel like a faith in ourselves is the reflection of the faith in the creator. So that's what people need to understand is, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that every creation does have a purpose. You have to you have to believe that. You have to believe that you have a purpose.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, people never want to step outside of their comfort zones to go seek that purpose. That's a big problem. That was a big problem for me for 10 years. I was comfortable, and if it wasn't for me stepping out of my comfort zone, if it wasn't for me almost being forced out of my comfort zone from corporate America, I would have never created a business. Then I would have never created a lot of businesses. Then I would have never retired my mother, retired my wife, helped family around me, helped friends, and helped thousands and thousands of other people, build their legacies or help at least assist in that first step. So again, none of that would have happened if I didn't believe in myself, if I didn't have faith in myself, and most importantly, if I didn't have faith in the Lord. So people need to step out of their comfort zones and seek their purpose as soon as possible.
Which I love about that saying that I talked about, right? You can't find outside of you what you can find inside of you. So that faith not
Mm,
only goes within ourselves and to a higher source, but to everything and everyone around us, uniting us and allowing us to have a perception of love, light, lessons, and happiness in our lives. Well, all right. Well, we got to jump, my friend. I'm going to see you in a few hours. I'm going to go to the
God
airport
willing.
myself. Last piece of advice, best piece of advice, biggest lesson you learned to thrive. Give me one gem, a nugget that we can share with everyone.
Okay. At Thrive, I really believe this, and I say this in the most humble way. I was the small guy in the room, and I love being the small guy in the room. So get yourselves in some big rooms. Surround yourself with people that are doing better than you, that are thriving, people that you aspire to be. So that was such a blessing to be the small. It's funny, right? Like I believe that I'm in a very good place, but I love seeing that other people are at a much higher place because if I'm rubbing elbows with them, it's only a matter of time. You know what I mean?
I guarantee it. That's why I love rubbing elbows with you and Bill you and Quick and all the guys. Ty Lopez, you belong on the stage with us, man. It's
Thank
like
you,
coming
brother.
up in the Maya leagues. Can't wait to go see Andy Furcello tomorrow. We're going to show him as
I'm
well that you
excited.
belong.
I'm excited. I feel like we have a lot in common. I can't wait.
You do. You're going to love him. I love you, man, and I can't wait to
Thank
see
you, brother.
you. I'm
Love you.
jumping on a plane. Take care,
Absolutely.
fella.
Thank you.
God bless you, brother. Cool. All right. You got the great entrepreneur right there. I'm going to pin up. Remember, Friday, we got smartest person in the room. You're in the wrong room. Yes. Friday, we have public coaching session. Bring your own questions. I'll bring the answers. You can submit them early to david@dmeltzer.com. You can join my text community. I'm going to pin it right now below. Team David Meltzer decides to show up. There he is. Welcome. All right, let's take a few questions. I got a special guest coming up as well. We got the Ultra Hall of Fame Olympian hero entrepreneur that was here, and now we're gonna have another hero coming on. You gotta wait and see. Let's answer some questions. I'll get warmed up for Friday. Do you have a favorite quote? Be kind to your future self and do good deeds is my favorite quote. And my favorite poem is the Don't Quit poem, which one of my employees, Andrew, gave to me, framed in an unbelievable pastel or whatever they call that fabric. Who's the best speaker you've seen in person? Joe Osteen. Joe Osteen is the most polished presenter, speaker, uh, unbelievable. Reverend Beckwith, Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith is another extraordinary speaker. Dennis Waitley. There's some great ones that I've seen. John Asseroff, amazing speakers. Tony Robbins, of course. But yeah, I think Joe Osteen, he topped the cake for me. Like, that man is polished. He is something I aspire to be as a performer and a person who can inspire. So thank you, all of those people that I mentioned, and whoever I left out, I apologize. You're all amazing. How can someone be more ferocious? Practice. Being ferocious, you can practice if you want to be more of something, Be consistent at it. You want to be more of something. That's what creates expansion. Practice, 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 practice. Set the bar low. 2 minutes a day is worth more than 2 hours on a Saturday. You can do it. Whether it's being ferocious, humble, kind, thankful, accountable, doesn't matter. Practice ending fear, whatever it may be. Do you ever have days that you feel off? No. I have minutes and moments that I feel off. I used to have days, weeks, months, and years that I felt off. But I practiced the 5 daily practices, which you can learn about. Just email me. I'll give you those 5 daily practices. David@dmeltzer.com. Exercises, guides, books for free. David@dmeltzer.com. Come to my free Friday trainings. David@dmeltzer.com. If you missed them, go to Spotify, featured on there. There's a featured playlist of all my trainings. Exercises, guides, David@dmeltzer.com. You can go to Entrepreneur, the playbook is featured there. All the platforms it's on. But join me nonetheless. Get your stuff for free. If it's free, it's me. It's now for you too. Easy, easy, easy. Best advice for someone looking for a job in these times. If you're looking for a job, number one, go do something for someone else. Two, make sure that you're taking inventories of your capabilities, your skills, your knowledge, the what and who you know, and your desire, the ability to must be what you can be, and align it with, find where it's synergistic or supplementary to what's doing well now, and search for that career, industry, or business. What's stable now, search for that career, business, and align and synergistic to that. Or if you want to take a lottery ticket, go ahead and take a chance and see what's going to do well in the future, and go ahead and align your capabilities, skills, knowledge, and desire, which are synergistic and supplementary to what? To those businesses you think that are going to do well in the future. And go ahead and pick one and then start asking for help. Find people that sit in the situation or have that job, career, industry, knowledge, or the connections or hiring capability in order to facilitate you getting involved. The easiest way to get to where you want to be is to ask someone that is there already for directions. I am not a rocket scientist. I just learned to ask. I am not a rocket scientist. I just learned to ask. All right. Good thing about life, it's unlike your trigonometry class. You're expected to cheat. Listen to me, everyone. You know, the good news about life, it's unlike your math and English classes in high school because you're actually expected to cheat. In other words, you're supposed to ask people for the answers. Okay, you then experience them yourself, but ask them for the answers and evaluate them with your own inventory of values. Ask people, do you know anyone that can help me? Best advice for people under 25, working professionals, medical humility, ask for help. I'm right on this topic right now. You say the words have energy. Absolutely, they do. Do you believe objects, colors have energy as well? Everything has energy. Everything vibrates. Everything has particles. Everything has energy. The slower the energy, the harder it is to put our hand through it. Everything. The earth vibrates the slowest, then plants, animals, humans, then sound, and then light, and then thought. And everybody knows the thought that vibrates the fastest is the truth. And we're all pursuing our potential. We're pursuing the truth. But here's the thing. You can only be aware of that which vibrates equal to or less than you. So if you're not concentrating, like Carlos said, within, if you're not looking within to see what's outside of yourself, you're not understanding vibration or frequency. You need to elevate your own frequency to be aware of things, to make things simple for you. I got motivated to meditate myself through theta meditation, THETA meditation, in order to effectuate an elevated sense of awareness. One awareness in particular is what motivated me to do that, and that's the awareness of when to buy or sell. I thought that could have a significant pragmatic difference in my life if I could learn how to buy low and sell high, all off of intuition inside myself. Your view on luck versus hard work. Uh, well, they're all in the same mathematical equation. What you pay attention to, what you focus in on, and what you add intention to, which includes hard work, what you think, say, do, and believe, including the unconscious competencies that you have. I'm talking about personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions. But what you pay attention to and give intention to equals the coincidences that will occur on your life. That is the luck. So hard work is a subset of luck. Hard work is a subset of luck. Attention plus intention equals the coincidences that you want. What was the biggest challenge in your entrepreneurship journey in your 30s? I lost everything. I lost everything. Over $100 million on paper. I lost everything. Golf course, ski mountain, homes, businesses. I lost everything. I went from everything I ever wanted, never even have to work again, to a rented house with rented furniture and one car. And that was challenging. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I found light, love, and lessons and perspective about gratitude, about forgiveness, about accountability that have just made that loss an investment in myself. Just like Carlos is investing in himself, I made all of it myself. Through ego is how I lost it. And overextending myself with the need to be right, offended, separate, inferior, guilty, all of those types of things. I just things got out of control in my life. I lost gratitude, forgiveness, accountability. All right, you can read my book if you really want to know the whole story. Read my book. I'll give it to you for free. I'll sign it and mail it to you. I'll email it to you, ebook. I got an audio book. It doesn't matter. I got 4 books. David@dmeltzer.com. I have exercises, guides, training courses, all free. David@dmeltzer.com. I have a text community that we all can belong to. 949-298-2905. Do you serotonin increasing supplement? I use Elevate. I go to Elevate City /magic dose. Go ahead, email me. I got unbelievable products. I got hot chocolate and tea and all kinds. There's a pill, but yes, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, all natural. But I use those to elevate myself and my vibration. Thank you for asking. Uh, Pitch. There you go. David Meltzer, or sorry, dmeltzer.com/pitch. 2-minute drill will be airing next year on Bloomberg. We're going to have $50,000 worth of cash and prizes for the winner. You got to come on the show. You got to try out for the show. Go ahead, dmeltzer.com/pitch, or email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Hey, David, I sent you a sticker question. Huh. What does that mean? Huh. I learn something new every day. Is your biggest inspiration your kids? My health, then my family. My biggest inspiration is my health. If I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of my family. So my biggest inspiration is my health, myself. I can't give what I don't have. Great podcast episode with Danica. Danica and I did something for Web Summit. You got to check it out in December. Danica, also, by the way, not to give Danica too much props, but how many people have a personally signed bottle of Danica Rosé? Oh, she's amazing. I'm a Danica Patrick big fan. I love being a fan of my friends and the fan of my family. I'm a huge fan of my wife and my kids. By the way, uh, of course, the Hatters and the Thrive family. Big fan. Love you all. All right, let's keep it going. Oh boy. How do you recenter your mindset when you feel yourself becoming stressed or negative? I stop, drop, and roll. So I'm a ferocious Buddha. I identify what is I'm afraid of, primary and secondary fears. I stop, I breathe, I drop down to center, into my neutral that I want to be in. At what age do you become successful? The age that you can enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. The minute you learn to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, the minute you realize that everyone has the same percentage of suck in their lives, some people just are better at finding the light, the love, and the lessons in the suck, and that provides them a perspective of happiness. They live in gratitude. They live with forgiveness and accountability. They realize that a tree has no branches, that one branch would not go to war against another branch, that we're just trying to kill the tree if we're trying to do that, and we're all going to lose. How do I get a job at a young age with not many things in my CV? Offer to give your help. Go give your help to somebody or something. Go ahead, learn those skills, gain the knowledge of who and what, and maintain and grow that desire. Shadow somebody, ask for an informational interview, go volunteer at a charity, gain, invest in yourself. It'll pay off. The problem with most people is they don't recognize compound interest, don't have the allowance and patience to allow compound interest to happen. And it is a shame. All right, it is time, I believe, to add my next famous, fabulous guest. I'm so excited to have my friend Scott on here. Is he here? Offer to give your help. Absolutely offer to give your help. Jay Rich, how do I go easy on myself when I make mistakes? I should know, forgive. You can't give what you don't have. You got to forgive yourself. There we go. Scott Hamilton, I'll send a request to you. There you go. Hopefully you're on there. Are grades in school important? If you're going to go to graduate school, yeah. Hey, boom, right out of his car. Can you hear me? How are you?
Soccer practice and I left my earbuds at home, so I hope this is okay.
No, it's fabulous, and I'm so excited to talk to you. You are an inspiration not only to me, but to so many people. And inspiration is so important. It's not just the skating and the Olympics and the gold medal, but it's the post-career things that you've done in order to inspire other people, to provide your help and your skills and knowledge to them. And I want to really talk about how you carried over what I consider one of the greatest attributes that we have in life, which is consistency. I'm blessed to know your sport fairly well, and a lot
Yeah.
of sports obviously fairly well, but that common denominator of the blend of consistency with the desire that you must be what you can be, a lot of people, when they're done with their athletic career, somehow can't translate that back over to their life, and they end up in a void, a shortage, or an obstacle. You, on the other hand, have been able to carry that same perspective over. How important is consistency, and how does it interact with your desire?
Well, I mean, I can say that I've done a lot of interviews. That's the first time anybody's ever asked me that question. So you're making me think, which
Sorry.
don't make me think. A mind is a terrible thing, right? So,
I could have asked you
consistency.
about the gold medal. How did it feel to win a gold medal?
No,
And everybody like, boo, Dave Meltzer sucks.
no, I love this question because it's kind of the root of everything, right? So you're not going to earn the respect or the marks from judges until you prove that you're reliable, until you develop a relationship with them that you're going to deliver the goods. I always tell skaters now, I go, the one thing that's an absolute is you're never allowed to miss in the short program, because you'll take yourself out of the competition. You're giving points to your competitors. So it's, you've got to be consistent. You've got to be able to deliver the goods, especially in the most stressful situations. But then on the other side, when you turn pro, now this whole other thing kicks in, and that's where you've got to build an audience. And you can't build an audience unless you deliver the goods consistently. Like if I'm in Kansas City and I just throw up a real stinker on the night, and I allow people to know that as, who cares? I don't really care. It was a bad night. They're probably going to think twice about putting down the money to buy a ticket the next year. So my job was to put out 110% effort every single time I stepped in on the ice in front of an audience, and build their trust, build that relationship, build that interest in what I'm doing, and grow my career. And you can't do that without being really consistent, not only in your delivery, but your effort and your preparation.
It's so interesting because it works in your favor in two ways. One, on the positive side, that they're going to rely on you, but it also provides the empathy when you do deliver the goods and everybody's human. Like Tom Brady the other night when he forgot that it was fourth down. He has earned the right for everyone to feel empathetic for him. That look, you've delivered you're 44 years old and everybody's human, and it was almost astounding to me. And I was really rooting for him to come back this week. I'm not a huge, Tom Brady fan because of the teams that I like, but I was rooting for him because of the consistent respect that I have for him throughout the years. And when you do poorly, you get a lot more forgiveness, even if people are competing against you or they may not be rooting for you. There's a certain amount of integrity or truth or potential that people will automatically emotionally attach to. There is so much emotional attachment in skating, that a lot of people may or may not know that the emotions, just like in other sports, can get in your way. And I think
Yeah.
it's one of those sports where you see sometimes the best skaters in the world, what they call get in their own way, that the stage got too big, they got in front of themselves. The Super Bowl does that to football players when they get to their first Super Bowl. A lot of times the game's too big for the greatest players. The MVP is not the MVP anymore. How have you learned to get out of your own way with such big emotional attachment that you have, especially when you're building up to a 4-year goal of being in the Olympics, and it's a matter of inches, if not centimeters, between gold and silver.
Well, it's all the preparation. When I stepped on the ice at the Olympics, my whole swing thought that whole year was, I don't want to step on the ice in Sarajevo and have one would've, could've, or should've. Like, oh man, if I would have only skated harder, I could have trained. Oh, I should have. If I had any of those thoughts in my mind, then I couldn't just live in the moment, right? And the best part of that is when you eliminate would'ves, could'ves, and should'ves, now you can step on the ice with an open hand instead of a clenched fist and say, you know what, whatever happens in the next 4.5 minutes, it's what's meant to be. And you can kind of almost, the best sports psychology I ever got was let it go. Don't force it. Just your body knows what it's doing. Turn that brain off, because your brain is a weapon of mass destruction. Just allow your body to do what you trained it to do. In a triple jump, you're in the air for 0.75 seconds. How much thinking can you do in 0.75 seconds, right? So it's kind of like, it's done. It's over. I was on the ice with some of our skaters in the skating academy the other day, and we were going through an exercise of really trying to put your head in that warm up before competition. And I saw them out there, and they're scurrying around. They're doing, they're just going, just all over the place. And I go, guys. Okay, that was 5-minute warm up. It's not a practice. It's like, it's too late. It's like, if you're still practicing when you go out for your warm up at competition, like, it's too late. So
Yeah.
let's just go out and just sort of do, inventory. Just check the inventory. Make sure that, you feel the light, you feel the ice, you feel the air, you feel the crowd, you know where the judges are, and just represent your training. And, so much of it's that clenched fist versus the open hand mentality of approaching anything, any big moment. If you approach it with a clenched fist, you're going to open your hand and you're going to find that nothing is there. It's just
I love that.
It's empty, right? So if you go in with an open hand, it's like, okay, I've done everything I can do, and this next performance is going to represent everything I put into this moment.
And that moment's so important, to be present. I utilize a strategy of doing it now to be present. You've launched a new thing that I think is exactly on point with being present and having different things. Live Your Days. You've just launched. What was your mindset behind launching Live Your Days?
Well, it actually was, and I'll tell you a secret, it was created 4 years ago. And it was right out of my brain tumor, my third brain tumor diagnosis. And I did a people.com interview, and, I just did it kind of, I said, I'm going to do one and I'll get the word out, because I love being on prayer chains and all the other stuff. So I selfishly put it out there. Right. And in there, it was just sort of like, I expressed, how you respond to things, how you share it with your children, what's the mindset, when you go through something like this. And it was shared 35 million times.
Wow.
Like, what in the world? I think it was what people needed to hear at that moment, right? So we came back, and I was really looking at trying to create a new speaking platform. And we came up with Live Your Days, and in my heart, I just felt like it wasn't the right time to launch it. I go, let's just press pause here. I just didn't feel like that was the time. And then COVID happens, and the people I was developing this concept with, they reached out and they said, now? And I said, now. People need this now more than ever. The whole concept of each day is an opportunity. It doesn't matter if we're in lockdown, quarantine. It's up to us. It's up to us to choose. Today is going to be the day I make it to be, right? Today I'm going to be present. Today I'm going to be grateful. Today I'm just going to lead with being interested in making an investment in my day to make it something special or memorable. And so we've created the Live Your Days platform. I call it a digital encouragement platform. And it's really just meant to, take the 30-day challenge and really create sort of a a movement of positivity, of choosing to have a day that is on your terms. And, so much of what we're dealing with now between COVID and politics and, this economy and people losing their jobs and everything, it's like, oh man, it just breaks my heart. But that doesn't mean that, it denies us the opportunity to choose to do something amazing, and that we can really build ourselves up and express ourselves to, whatever, call somebody you haven't talked to in a while, just write things down that you're really grateful for and why. And all these things that we do in the 30-day challenge, it's really meant to fortify us. There's a stat that says if you do something like for 18 days, it becomes a habit. So in 30, man, I think that we can really win people over to create this movement of just respecting and honoring and living our days. As long as there's breath in my lungs and blood pumping through my veins, I'm going to find a way to squeeze something good out of every single day. And, and you've allowed that to happen today, because this is fun. I'm really enjoying this conversation.
Me too. And I've been to several of the Scott Hamilton Cares Foundation events in person. And your attitude and perspective was one that, from afar I've always witnessed. And I love the fact that you were sharing your experience so others, I always call it the dummy tax. And I know it's more, when it's life and death, it may not apply specifically, but I truly believe that the gift that we can give is, let us share our dummy tax of what we learned through, experience that we don't want other people to have. Or if they are having a similar experience, we want to give them a little bit of help and some, efficient behavior that works, and those habits that we wish maybe we would have done through the process, or maybe stuff that did work for us. And I felt at all of the Scott Hamilton Cares Foundation events that you were sharing that advice and experience and mentorship as you have with the skating, with chemo. I mean, I've heard you talk on so many different levels and such great mentorship, but it's all based, to me, off of simple gratitude. Even your challenge is all about finding light, love, and lessons in everything that we do, and living the most of our days by taking inventory of your own values. Throughout the extraordinary career and life experiences that you have, do you have a go-to quote or a go-to poem or a go-to piece of advice that you love as your signature? Is there something you'd love to leave us with?
Oh man, I'll go back to the root of Live Your Days is, our bodies are fragile, vulnerable, but phenomenally resilient, but ultimately temporary, right? So I look at a lot of it, you lead with attitude. You lead with contentment, which is rooted in gratitude, right? So for me, it's like I've been threatened many times through cancer, through my childhood illness, through my third brain tumor. And I'm reminded that, like a lot of things can go against me living 120 years or whatever my goals are. Right. So it just turns into, it's live for today. Right. Which just sounds so cliche, but it's like, do something that brings joy into your space. Right. And I said when I was diagnosed with cancer in 1997, a quote came out of an interview I did that said, the only true disability in life is a bad attitude. And I've seen so many people rise up against unbelievable circumstances, like Kyle Maynard, who climbed Kilimanjaro. Like, well, a lot of people have climbed Kilimanjaro, but how many people have done it without arms or legs? And I look at, like a kid I met when he was a junior in high school. He's now a grown man with a family. Joel Sonnenberg, I'll never forget him. Burned over 85% of his body, countless surgeries. This guy is just pure joy. Pure joy. I can't wait to interview him, for the Live Your Days podcast. It's just those types of things. It's like, no matter what we're up against, no matter what, as long as there is air in our lungs, and we can find something great in a day to allow that day to have meaning, purpose, and identity.
Well, you absolutely are an icon for that, and I appreciate everything that you do. I can't wait to do more with you, to empower others simply to be happy and value each of the days that we get as gifts. Of course, I will give you one piece of advice that Diane Cannon gave me. I told her I was going to live to 111, and she got sad. And I said, and I'm like, oh, don't worry, I'm only 50 years old. I got a long way. She goes, Oh no. She goes, why are you limiting yourself? So Scott, don't limit yourself. It's live to over 120. You're going to live to over 120.
I have a unique identity of collecting life-threatening illness. So, it's like, well, we take so many dings, but, the sooner I can get to, as soon as I can get to the Lord, I'm okay with that too. So I can't lose.
I'm gonna send you some of my baseball cards so that you can start a new collection. Instead of deadly diseases, you're gonna start collecting baseball cards. When you're 120, you'll be rich and you'll be alive. So it's a much better thing to collect. Okay.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's great to have you on. An icon of being kind to his future self, Scott Hamilton. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
God bless you.
God bless you. Thanks, Scotty. What a great guy. You can see everyone asks me what's the common denominator. It's right there. You must be what you can be. You're looking for the light, the love, and the lessons, gratitude, forgiveness, and accountability. Scott Hamilton carries all of those internally, and he is all about joy, not just for himself, but giving through him to others, living in a world of more than enough. His life is full of suck, just like everyone's else, but he has found the light, the love, and the lessons in the suck, and pulled a few gold medals as well. Amazing. Yes, Samir, that was amazing. Everybody, these are just basic lives. I would love Jakey Bakey to get on the Live Your Days podcast with him and have another conversation. That would be brilliant. We'll put him on the playbook as well. Maybe some office hours. Let's keep Scott Hamilton. I want more of Scott Hamilton for sure. And Carlos Reyes. What a dynamic duo. It's like Batman and Robin. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to be on my way to the airport to go share some love for the next few days. I will be here. I got training on Friday. It is the public training, public coaching session. Bring your own questions. I'll bring the answer. You got everything you need down below to find me. David@dmeltzer.com for free exercises, books, and guides. My text community, join us. We got a collective consciousness that you would not believe at 949-298-2905. Join the collective consciousness of David Meltzer and our team. Thank you, Stephen. You're in there. 949-298-2905. One last question, and then we will call it till tomorrow. Here we go. What's the best thing that has happened amid the pandemic? That I have expanded my value of my own family. I always told people, I would do anything, to be on the sidelines and backstages of all the greatest sporting and entertainment events in the world. I will do anything to have dinner with all my children. So if anybody can put all my children and me back onto that dinner table again, I will miss and give my sideline passes to the Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, Masters, Kentucky Derby, Breeders' Cup, ESPYs, Emmys, Oscars, Grammys, all the great thing I've done for over 25 years. I do it all just to sit with those beautiful children and my unbelievable wife, who I've nicknamed Jalawesome. Julie is awesome, Jalawesome. And my kids are calling him Jalasco right now. So they think Julie's Tabasco because she's a good mom and not a friend. She's a mom. You hear that, girls? Hope you're listening. Anyway, be kind to your future self, everybody. Thank you so much, Carlos Reyes. I look forward to hanging out with you and Annie Furcello tomorrow. And most importantly, to Scott Hamilton, thank you. We look forward to having you both on to do more content, to inspire more people, simply to be happy. Remember, everyone, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Till tomorrow.